Yep. It's your boy Boss Cowboy Sports, man. Let's go. It's going down. As usual, let's turn the clock on. All right. So we got a lot going on today. Obviously, the final word is today. But when we did the show with Tuck yesterday, man, I started pulling up so many videos. I said I did too much work to not do no show. So we gonna give y'all what y'all always get here. What you always get here, if you been here, you know what you get.
You want answers?
If you want answers, you came to the right place. Just make sure
you can't handle the truth.
So anyway, Mike McCarthy undermined 7 times. Fed up.
Oh, you see this guy? Number 1 bullshit guy. He do the wee woo.
Listen, man, I'm smelling some wee woo. See, I ain't gonna never let you down. I'm gonna tell you the truth. See, everybody gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth over at Boss Cowboy Sports, man. I got a lot of stuff to get through because we got 7 of these things. Now, one of the things that y'all gonna get from this show, I promise you this, you gonna appreciate Mike McCarthy for sure. Because I know a lot of people don't see Mike McCarthy in the right light. It's a few do, most don't. See, most people only looking at the 12 wins. You got to understand what he went through to get us through to those wins. And he been through a lot. So we gonna talk about it. It's some good news though. It's not as bad as what people think. I'll be right back. Let's go. Who with boss? Come on. Y'all sit yourselves down in the house of the boss. Let's go. This the show right here. This is the show right here. If you want answers, you came to the right place. Yes, you did. You are in the right place for answers. Start that beat on. Come on. Let's go. I got the countdown going. You gotta have that countdown going. I'm gonna tell y'all something else too about this particular show. There's only one way to tell you. Okay. I am absolutely the right one for this one. I am the right one. I can tell you right now, ain't nobody, I guarantee, that went through so many details. I guarantee you that. Ain't nobody went through the details that I went through on breaking down the dilemmas of Mike McCarthy, especially with Kellen Moore. But it's been a lot more than just Kellen Moore. Yeah, I told y'all it's been 7 of them things. 7 ways Mike McCarthy was undermined. I'm finna get down to it. I gotta just show a little bit of the clips. Come on now. I gotta show a little bit. Yeah. Come on now. Yeah, I'm just showing you the mountain of work that went into calling in to GBag Nation. I'm talking about doing the work. You understand? This is real. If you're not willing to do that work, you came to the wrong place. See, this is a place for real Cowboy fans. This is for the real Cowboy fans. Yeah, this is for the real. Only the real can stay. If you're not real, you might as well walk away. See, because I'm starting to see something. Green Bay took some of y'all heart. Green Bay has taken some of y'all heart. I can see it. Get y'all hearts back in your chest. The season getting ready to start. Let's go. Come on now. thought you said you was DC4L for life. That don't mean when it get hard that you get to walk away. No, you gotta stay if it's for life. I had to get on some people real quick. All right, let's go. Alright, man. Alright, we finna get into it, man. Oh, man. It'd be so fun doing content, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Woo. Alright, let's change the vibe. Change the vibe. Alright, man, we gonna get right into this one, man, because I told y'all I'm gonna keep my promise on this. That Mike McCarthy was undermined 7 times. Okay. And see, I'm going to just show you, right? And it's a bigger picture that's going on. It's a much bigger picture that's going on that I'm certain that a lot of people don't see. So I'm going to just go through each one of these quick. The first way that Mike McCarthy was undermined, number one, and the clear one. Kellen Moore. That was the first way Mike McCarthy was undermined. The very first way. Absolutely. That was the first way. Hold on. That's not right either. Right here. There we go. The very first way that Mike McCarthy was undermined was Kellen Moore. And it was done from the very beginning, where a Trojan horse was installed under him. Okay. That kicked the whole thing off from the very beginning. That was the very first undermining of Mike McCarthy. And it was out the gate. So going straight into the content, I didn't see this at first as a problem. I didn't have any problems with Kellen Moore at first. I'm going to tell you when I changed. I changed in 2021 after the Arizona game. Because I did a video. Because we was greatly favored. Okay? I want y'all to understand, we was greatly favored. They was playing us with a lot of backups. I don't know if y'all remember, this is when Arizona came to Dallas with Murray, right? And we was rolling. So I was like, yeah, we finna beat Arizona. This is right. They was playing us with 2 backup corners. 2. And we had Amari and we had CeeDee Lamb. And we lost the game. And when we lost the game, I said, what? First of all, it wasn't that we just lost. Then I looked at the targets between Amari and CeeDee Lamb. I think they had 6 targets combined. It was something very goofy. I can't remember exactly. But it was something that was like,
oh, hell no.
And so that's when I started to do my investigation. And I was like, wait, what happened? And I started to learn about the Kellen Moore system. I had a name of it at the time. I was calling it a system-based offense because I started learning that he didn't go after stars. He didn't target stars. He didn't go after his playmakers. It was a system-based offense where the defense would dictate where the ball would go. So I instantly began to do content on it. And so then Playmaker famously came out and explained it even more. So obviously I got all these clips. I'm going to play some of them. This is a famous clip y'all used to always get from me.
Mike, Troy was talking about, your guy beating beating the man on the other side. We're worried too much about scheming guys open. Is it on the receivers? Is it on the coaching to get the receivers the ball?
Now. That's the NFL now, guys. I've been talking about that for a while when you see it. And that's why as we start rating guys. Like we want to rate wide receiver. Oh, he's better than him. He's better than him. And we do it on numbers when it's system beating system now. It's not man beating man. That's why you're going to get these so-called boy geniuses. They try to figure out a way to beat a system, and then I can get less players and come back and beat better players because I'm beating a system. The days of man beating man, we'll never have them again. We'll never have those again. And sometimes it takes away from when it's just time to get down and dirty and gritty. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things I've always claimed about. Troy's right. We're expecting now the coaches to come in and design a way to make a man get open, and just, instead of expecting the man to use his talents and gifts and get somewhere and get open.
Yep. And and then, you know, from that and other things, I began to just see. I was like, we're in trouble. And so I immediately started doing a bunch of content, and I started researching, and I found more and more Hall of Famers saying exactly what the playmaker was saying. A whole bunch of them. And it was scaring me even more because nobody was addressing it. Nobody. You had all these Hall of Fame ex-Dallas Cowboys, and some people, not even Dallas Cowboy players, specifically was calling out Kellen Moore by name, and it was not a peep. Local media wasn't talking about it. National media wasn't talking about it. The only people that was really truly talking about it was the Hall of Famers. Yep. And they was calling out Kellen Moore by name. So the number one in the first way that Mike McCarthy was undermined was Kellen Moore. Now remember, we got 7 of these things. So this is the thing. The most important show that I ever did was when Kellen Moore was finally fired. I made a case to be Mike McCarthy, the leader, and never Kellen Moore, the yes man. Because Kellen Moore was a yes man. See, this is what I want everybody to understand. Amari was under targeted. Okay? He was clearly under targeted. Who was the person who executed that diabolical plan? Kellen. Yep. To the point, even when he was fired, I also did another video saying the arranged marriage between Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy was doomed from the start. For a lot of reasons. We gonna get into it. But for a lot of reasons. So the first thing that happened to undermine Mike McCarthy out the gate was keeping Kellen Moore under him and letting Kellen Moore run his offense under a head coach who didn't agree with it. The undermine number 2, because I'm gonna get right to these. Aggressive option routes that Mike didn't want. Aggressive option routes. And it's so sad that it wasn't too many people. I'm gonna change the vibe. It's so sad that a whole lot of people wasn't even talking about this. Because this one is actually the biggest shame. Okay? This one was the biggest shame because it was actually the easiest to see. So check this out.
A lot of great questions today, but this is my favorite. So we get to talk a little ball here. But no, I've never been a big option route thrower. Concept in the past. If you're going to run option routes, you need to live in that world. That's been my experience. You can't dab on it. You know, option routes are really not part of the old traditional West Coast offense. I've had quarterbacks in the past that didn't really like them, and it's really about the connection that they have with the receiver. I've been in systems where only certain guys run them. You know, this is the most aggressive system that I've been in.
And see, I said Mike Soprano moment. Shout out to my boy Landlord. He came up with Mike Soprano. Because see, he was doing a hit on Kellen Moore right there. He was ordering a hit. he was trying to make it real clear before the world. I don't see the offense like this man sees this offense. He was telling everybody to their face. He's sitting there talking to the media. Hey guys, I don't like what my OC is doing. I've never been a fan of this. And they sat there and said nothing. And it always used to piss me off because I used to be like, I thought y'all liked mess. I thought if it bled, it read. That's what y'all used to always say. Oh, if it's drama, you want it. See, let me also say this. That's what's pissing me off about now. Y'all want to talk about Mike McCarthy being fed up. See, y'all want to talk about Mike McCarthy being fed up when he likely not even fed up right now. See, I'm going to tell you the truth. See, when we needed y'all to do y'all media job, y'all was silent. This man said in y'all face, I've never been a fan of what Kellen Moore is doing. It was no articles, no videos, nothing was put in the paper.
Oh, hell no.
What's up, JC? We got JC in the building. But I'm going to get to these. But that was a Mike Soprano moment.
As far as many people that do run the option routes. And so I think you see our commitment to practice. We practice it.
Yeah. Then on the same interview, he said this.
Had the Jerry Rice list and John Taylor. And, so, those, that is carried forward for generations on, that's why you have more than 2 pages on your call sheet. If you look at call sheets, I never looked at the call sheet as a call sheet. I looked at it as a worksheet. And you work on it throughout the week. That's why it's 6 pages instead. You really use 2 during the game, but those with the other categories. I know personally what I would carry on. Hey, make sure you get the ball to, CD. Make sure here's the top 10 throws. You already have the plays on the call sheet, but they're good reminders.
See, that's. I don't see how y'all don't get mad when you look back at this, man.
You can't handle the truth.
See, I want y'all to remember that your head coach had to say, if it was me. See, it should be real clear in hindsight. Because see, when we was talking about this in foresight, oh, boss, you've been negative. You've been a conspiracy theorist, boss. Come on now. Yeah, DP, they laughed right in his face. They did. They did laugh right in his face, DP. That's a very much, see, DP remembers they laughed right in his face. Yep. Right in Mike McCarthy's face. Yep. Yeah. As he was giving them sauce. Y'all want to know what was really going on, in my opinion? People could sense where the power laid. The power laid with Kellen Moore. The power, so as Mike McCarthy was fighting to do what was right, where he was saying, if it was me, I would be targeting my stars. He was saying, if it was me, I wouldn't be going against backup corners versus Arizona and CeeDee Lamb, as well as Amari Cooper only have 6 targets combined. That wouldn't happen if it was me.
Make sure here's the top 10 throws. You already have the plays on the call sheet, but they're good reminders how you list, plays for Tony, plays for Zeke, plays for CD, plays for Dalton. So what I would carry on, hey, make sure you get the ball to. What I would carry on, hey, make sure you get the ball to. What I would carry on, hey, make sure you get the ball. What I would carry on, hey, make sure you get the ball. What I would carry on, hey, make sure you get the ball. What I would carry on, hey, make sure you get the ball to, CD. Make sure here's the top 10 throws. You already have the plays on the call sheet, but they're good reminders how you list, plays for Tony, plays for Zeke, plays for CD, plays for Dalton. So that's all part of the game plan process.
And they laughed, because remember he called it a zoo. So then when you go and talk to people who play for him,
do me a huge favor. Can you break down West Coast offense juxtaposed to when Dak Prescott was playing in the offense last year? Mike McCarthy said, I don't like those stop routes. I don't like those option routes. I don't like that. Can you break? And then they continue to
look at Jermichael. Look at Jermichael. Look at him when he started talking about it. Cause see, Law hit the nail dead on the head, where most people wasn't discussing that. Most people wasn't talking about how Mike McCarthy didn't believe in the aggressive option routes. Nobody was talking about that but us.
I don't like those stop routes. I don't like those option routes. I don't like that. Can you break? And then they continue to do that. That's something that he said he didn't like. So can you break it down?
Okay, you good. Okay.
The reason why he said you good, because Law went to a level of football knowledge that you wasn't hearing. Now, this is a man with a Super Bowl ring who won his Super Bowl ring with Mike McCarthy. So Law went to a level that he was shocked that Law went. He didn't expect it. Jermichael did not expect Law Nation to really understand the power dilemma that was going on with Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy. That's why he was sitting to himself and he said, wow.
I don't like those stop routes. I don't like those option routes. I don't like that. Can you break? And then they continue to do that. That's something that he said he didn't like. So can you break it down?
Okay, you good. Okay,
that's fired.
Yeah, that's fired, boy.
I try to be,
Hey, when I went to Green Bay, man, the thing I saw was McCarthy getting the ball out. He got the ball out. So the West Coast offense is very intriguing to me. They do their thing. And guess what? You got to be very smart at that quarterback.
Okay.
One thing Aaron Rodgers is very smart.
Oh, yeah, he's smart now.
And we didn't touch the field often. We was more classroom settings. So we done a walkthrough, prepare for another walkthrough.
Okay.
And then we touch the field.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's what McCarthy brings to it, and that West Coast offense. But Dak's got to do more audibles. He's got to audible things. When he see a linebacker doing something, he's got to replace the ball with the linebacker. And that's what Aaron Rodgers did.
Man, my goodness, man. That's some gems right here, Jermichael Friendly, man.
So, Jermichael, now, when Mike McCarthy got here, I said that Zeke Elliott's probably going to suffer the most under Mike McCarthy because I felt like McCarthy was a passing coach instead of a running coach. Is that kind of true? Was I off a little bit there, or how do you?
He's not a running coach.
He's not. So I thought Zeke was going to suffer.
No, he didn't. But at the end of the day, when I played for the Green Bay Packers.
See, Jermichael was telling us before anybody. Because what was Mike McCarthy saying at that time? I just want us to run the ball. What did Jermichael say? Nah, y'all ain't gonna see that. You are not gonna see that. Look.
We had 6 guys that were number 1.
When Mike McCarthy got here, I said that Zeke Elliott's probably going to suffer the most under Mike McCarthy because I felt like McCarthy was a passing coach instead of a running coach. Is that kind of true? Was I off a little bit there, or how do you?
He's not a running coach.
He's not. So I thought Zeke was going to suffer.
No, he didn't. But at the end of the day, when I played for the Green Bay Packers, we had 6 guys that were number 1 receivers.
Right.
And Aaron Rodgers. We had Jordy Nelson, James Jones, Greg Jennings.
Get it.
Myself.
Come on.
Randall Carr was at the bottom there.
Yeah, Randall Carr.
Good Lord.
So McCarthy,
was Jordy Nelson?
Yeah, we call that Mr. Reliable.
Number 3. Well, let me get past number 2.
Nah.
So how do you be a head coach and you don't have the power to be a head coach? And also, shout out to 105.3 The Fan for that clip. We wouldn't have this talk if it wasn't for them.
Right.
But how do you do it?
And I feel like when it comes to Mike McCarthy, his hands are tied behind his back. Because one, as a man, you want to keep a job.
Right.
But he is not the voice in the locker room. The players know that. The fans know that. The media should know that. Like,
I don't even think the fans know that, Tuck.
Well,
I think we know that because
the fans that watch this channel.
Oh, true. The fans that watch your channel and my channel know that.
They know because, like.
But the majority of the fans, I don't think they have no idea that Mike McCarthy hands are tied.
And this is what I'm trying to tell Cowboys fans. If Mike McCarthy was in full control, this Cowboys team would look a lot different.
I think so.
Because even thinking about it, from the video that I did from Kellen Moore.
Now, keep in mind, this was foresight. We were saying if Mike McCarthy did not have to run Kellen Moore's system, this offense would look a lot different. Now that we can now use hindsight, was we telling the truth? Was we telling the truth? See, because a lot of people were saying Jay Tuck and I was being negative because this was literally the day before we was getting ready to play Tampa. Tampa was the next day and we was over here giving a warning. People didn't want to hear the warning going into game 1 of the risk of Kellen Moore's option routes.
Or about the buffet style offense. Ooh. That's not Mike McCarthy's approach. He's a West Coast guy.
That's not. Keep talking.
He's a West Coast guy.
That's the 5th time he was overruled. To this point. Man, see, Tug, we got to do more shows, bro.
Yeah.
See, listen. Because, see, I know what you're talking about. Let me explain what he's talking about. So, Mike McCarthy came out in the offseason where he was talking about a West Coast approach and matchup football.
Right.
They not talking about matchup football.
Right.
When you hear Stephen Jones talk, Jerry talk, and Kellen talk, they still talking no ID offense. Can you explain?
Yep. Because around that time, you had to know what you was listening to. You had to know what you was listening to. See, because Mike McCarthy was fighting for his power around that time. Mike McCarthy was fighting for his power around that time. So let me just show y'all real quick. This is what was going on with Mike McCarthy around that time. Listen.
Do you feel like McCarthy's going to be a little bit more involved in the offense, or maybe has he been this offseason, that kind of thing, because there is so much pressure and he's like, all right, I need to get my hands in this thing?
I mean, that's been the discussion, right? Like, that's kind of what Jerry's hinted at. Mike's talked a little bit about that. I will say, I know I brought this up when we were out there at rookie minicamp. He was more actively involved, it looked like, in coaching drills than I've ever seen him before. And was actually out there, it looked like he stopped down a drill at one point and was trying to coach something specific. And I've never seen him do that in 2.5 years that he's been here. So, I think whether he wants to be or not, I think the Cowboys want him to be more involved in it. And I think they want to have some more tangible aspects that they can judge him by. It's like, hey, your job's on the line here, your future's on the line. Let's see what it is you can do.
Listen how disrespectful that is. What do you do? Think about that. So, what do you do? Like, that's basically saying, do we even need you? We got Kellen Moore. Like, what do you do? Man, see, some people can't even see it. How you gonna go to the head coach and hey, what do you do? What do you do again? So what started happening around this time, because remember, I'm telling y'all, ain't nobody covered this like me. Listen, y'all, this ain't bragging. You might call it bragging, but I'm really not. Nobody went through this whole ordeal like me, bruh. Nobody put more time into this whole drama. Nobody. I did show after. I kept up with this every day. I'm talking about I called in to the fan. I called in to the fan 3 times. I got in all 3 times too. show after show after show. So I know exactly what happened with this. Yeah. What happened with this is they was basically just like Bobby Belt said, they was coming at him like, what do you do? Who are you? Like, yeah. Because this was the undermining three. The undermining three was Mike McCarthy wanted to attack matchups versus a system. That's what was going on. And they was vetoing the head coach. I'm not making this up. This is all facts. That's why Bobby was saying what he was saying. What do you do?
We need you more involved so that we can judge you based off of some of these things. So I think we
What?
need you more involved so that we can judge you based off of what it is you can do. We need you more involved so that we can judge you based off of some of these things. So I think it's what it is you can do. We need you more involved so that we can judge you based off of some of these things. So I think it's absolutely possible he's got more involved, and I still think this is ultimately Kellen Moore's offense, but I think that Mike McCarthy will have a bigger hand in it than he has the first 2 years.
Bobby Belt with us here in the GBag Nation.
Because they was basically saying, what do you do? So, me covering it, I start seeing Mike McCarthy was putting out there his vision that he wants for the offense. And an article came out that Coach Moore sent me. Okay? Coach Moore sent me this article. Now, let me turn off this music. Listen. It's now Mike McCarthy's quote. This is a great opportunity for him personally, Mike McCarthy said. I think just the way we've established the offense, particularly in the passing game, the ability for those guys to play different positions, to create matchups. Where did we hear that? Huh? Where did we hear that? Let me see.
I looked at what we did. I thought we offensively tried to feature some guys that we went away from our playmakers. Mm-hmm. And that's not what you should do. That's why I'm questioning some of the things that transpired.
We see both these teams here at the Super Bowl. It's so easy for them to feed the ball to Cooper Kupp, right, Odell, even Chase. Why is it so hard for Dallas to be able to feed the ball to CD and Amari?
Creativity, or the lack thereof creativity. When you have quality wide receivers like Amari Cooper, CD Lamb, Gallup at the time, Wilson, and others, you create matchup issues by moving them all around. They should be able.
Wait, that's where I heard that.
Yoga fire.
I knew I heard this philosophy before. I heard it from Emmett, the same one that Mike McCarthy is talking about, particularly in the passing game, the ability for those guys to play different positions to create matchups.
Yoga fire.
Well, I be god darn. Now we should understand why CeeDee Lamb went ape crazy. See, now when you think about what I was fighting for then, I was fighting for what we saw last year. Well, I be god darn. Mike McCarthy, I'm rocking with you, big dog. I'm team Mike McCarthy in his verses. Because this verses is about our future. Yeah. Mike McCarthy versus Kellen Moore, offensive philosophy, matchups versus systems. We saw it. That's why I said you had to stay to the end. Because we built the whole case. We showed very clear who and what the system is, allowing the defense to dictate where the ball goes. That's a front office system, according to Keystone, which I agree with. And Kellen Moore is the Trojan horse that has been running that system. And that's what I was fighting for. Because remember, they was coming out saying, what do you do, Mike McCarthy? What do you do? So he was leaking out, this is what I want to do. This is the vision that I have. This is what I desire to do. But he could not do it because of Kellen Moore. He was undermined.
Do you feel like McCarthy's going to be a little bit more involved in the offense, or maybe has he?
So what they did is they say, okay, show me your worth, Mike McCarthy. Show us what you believe, because we got to try to grade you. So what do you think we should do? If you think I'm lying, listen again.
On the line, let's see what it is you can do. We need you more involved so that we can judge you based off of some of these things. So I think it's absolutely possible.
So we need you more involved, is what they said to Mike McCarthy. Do I need to rewind that again? I rewind it again. Listen.
We need you more involved so that we can judge you based off of some of these things. So I think it's absolutely possible he's got more involved, and I still think this is ultimately Kellen Moore's offense, but I think that Mike McCarthy...
Yeah. That's what we talking about today, y'all. Who is the person that's preaching the philosophy of matchups? Thank you, Coach Marv, for sending me this. See, because Coach Moore believe his voice matter. So Coach Moore be like, boss, hey, man, you got to go check out this article. I'm like, what is it? He like, man, Mike McCarthy talking about matchups. I ain't never heard it. I said, let me see. I said, send it to me. Man, Coach Moore sent me this. I read it. I said, boy, this B part is yoga fire. And that's showing you Mike McCarthy is trying to get the power to make us better. But is he crippled by the dysfunction of front office installing a Trojan horse in his way? Is he crippled? Are we witnessing sabotage? Not intentional, but sabotage to where you got those oligarchs that's more trying to get their way versus letting Mike McCarthy run a team based on the philosophy that actually fits what he wants to do. Was I crazy? See, because that was foresight when I was saying it. Now we got the benefit of hindsight. We can look back now. Was I tripping? Was I tripping? Was I being a conspiracy theorist? Was I being negative? Or was I really trying to win? Matchup wise. Am I making sense, or is this fluff? Huh? That's what it is. So we got us a super chat. He said 2019 Gary got fired for allowing Kellen Moore's system. Mike McCarthy not going out like that. He at least trying. He trying not to go out like that. But the problem is we got to be able to see it and call it out. Because I guarantee you a lot of people don't even see this dilemma. They think that we over here preaching conspiracy theories. They think we just kind of making stuff up for content, like we trying to get likes and subs by creating false drama. But obviously when you bring all the facts together and you look at all the quotes from all the Hall of Famers, it just really honestly look like we just telling the truth over here at Boss Cowboy Sports. Yoga fire. And Mike McCarthy is right. Mike McCarthy is right. This is if Kellen Moore come out with that system over Mike McCarthy wanting him to have a playmaker matchup philosophy, then let's just say what it is. He was sabotaged. Mike McCarthy was sabotaged by the Trojan horse because those oligarchs wanted who they wanted anyway. Sabotage. Just keep it real. Yeah, Cause you telling him, tell us what makes you different. Tell us what's so special about you, Mike McCarthy. We need something to judge you by. Okay, this is what you judge me by. My philosophy is I want us to do more matchup football. I want to create more matchups. But will the guy that's over my offense do that? Because I'm not a system guy. I want to win, so I believe at targeting CeeDee Lamb a lot. Like Jerry Rice got targeted. Let me pull up Jerry Rice targets. Jesus, man. Oh, man, this pisses me off. I'm dead serious, bro. It makes me angry. It gets me so mad. Boy. Oh, man, I'm real mad. Whew. I am very mad. Because I can see what Mike McCarthy was going through. And we was divided on this. And we was literally ignoring evidence that was in our face. We had 3 teams that could have won a Super Bowl. And we wasted it on Kellen freaking Moore. I don't see how you not pissed. I don't see it. If you ain't pissed, man, I swear to God, you ain't no Cowboy fan. You a sucker. How can you look at the evidence and it's not piss you off? Y'all give me a second, man. I'm over here real angry right now. Man, I'm pissed. Ooh, I'm real life pissed. So let me ask you, what do you think happened after this? What do y'all think happened after this? When he told them, I desire matchup football, did they go with Mike McCarthy?
He's a viable option because he's always in the right spot. He's doing the right things. The offense doesn't center around anybody. Dak goes to the open guy, and Dalton's open quite a bit. The offense doesn't center around anybody. The offense doesn't center around anybody doing the right things. The offense doesn't center around doing the right things. The offense doesn't center around anybody. Dak goes to the open guy, and Dalton's open quite a bit.
So what philosophy ended up winning out? What philosophy ended up winning out? Now, y'all came to him saying, what do you do? What makes you special? Well, let me give you my vision. I want to use CeeDee Lamb like Jerry Rice, which we saw last year. But this was before last year. Shut up, Mike. Kellen, this is your offense.
As far as more targets for Amari, I hope so. But there's more factors into that. I mean, I get excited every time. As far as more targets for Amari, I hope so. But there's more factors into that. I mean,
See, y'all thought I was crazy when I said, why is your head coach having to hope for more targets for Amari? Oh, boss, you been a conspiracy theorist, boss. Come on, boss. Oh, what's up, Star in the building? What's going on? I just saw you. Oh, boss. Oh, shut up, boss. Why is your head coach having a hope for more targets like he not the boss? You know why he had the hope? Because he wasn't the boss. Kellen Moore was his boss. And it cost us. And they have Mike McCarthy on a 1-year deal. Like he was the one did this. Let me pull this clip, man, real quick. I accidentally got rid of this clip. I gotta play this clip. This is a very important clip because it's go really kind of paint the picture. Because see, a lot of people saying, "Oh, Mike McCarthy is fed up." They like, why? He knew he was getting into. Why? Why is he fed up? It's like, nah. You really got to look closer at the details. Like you got to really understand what he was going through. When you understand what he was going through, and you got to understand the cost of them 12-5s. A lot of people don't understand the cost of them 12. Mike McCarthy had to take some big gambles to get to 12-5. Listen.
I get excited every time the ball goes. As far as more targets for Amari, I hope so. But there's more factors into that. I mean, I get excited every time the ball goes to Amari. I love it when the crowd goes. You hear Coop in the stands. It's. I think it tells you the impact it has, not only for offense but for our team and for the crowd and all that. So I mean, I do recognize that.
Amari, talking to us last week, expressed some frustration, just wanting to get the ball. Obviously, they all want the ball. Was there a concerted effort on your part to give him more opportunities than in previous games, or that's just the way it went?
I think certainly it's the way it went. Obviously, we love getting the ball to Amari as much as we can. Felt like there were some great opportunities in this particular game. Amari did a great job of, especially early in the game, just being available, being open, doing a great job of getting his depth on particular routes. And so I felt like we did a great job of getting in a rhythm there. And I think you always have to be careful of trying to narrow the focus for the quarterback into one particular guy. We feel fortunate to have other guys. Hey, they all want the ball. I get it.
Back to the decision ahead on Amari, his usage, not just production, but in terms of how often he was targeted, even when he was on the field, it was down. Mm-hmm. What do you make of his relative lack of involvement, especially for someone who's got the contract of a number 1 wide receiver?
I just think it's an offensive philosophy, and with when we had the skilled players that we had, between Kellen and Dak, I think there was a progression of where you threw the ball. And depending on how the defense played you, it would point the ball to certain places where, hey, if they're going to double over here and they're going to double over the top over here, then that's going to dictate that the ball goes here. So I think it's more of a system deal. It wasn't a thing where we just hate that the ball goes here. So I think it's more of a system deal. It wasn't that the ball goes here. So I think it's more of a system deal. It wasn't a thing where we just said, hey, we're not going to target Amari as much.
Is that the right
system? Based on the system, then does that make financial sense? You're not getting your investment dollars.
We go through all that. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to get into individually this stuff, but yes, all that plays into how we invest.
So who won now? Who won? When they said, so what do you do? What's so special about you, fat boy? Mr. Mike McCarthy? We got us a young stud. Look at you. What do you do? What makes you special? Huh? Who did they go with? That clip showed you who won. They went with Kellen. And then whose job was at risk? Because they went with Kellen. Mike McCarthy.
I was going to say, what you just said about Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
A lot of people speculate that this is Mike McCarthy's last year. Do you feel this is last year in Dallas? If they don't win something.
Oh, yeah.
No, it shouldn't be, though.
There you go.
Hold on. This is his first year.
It should be his first year. It shouldn't be if they let him run the offense.
There we go. Man. Y'all hear it.
Man, clap it up for new media. Just clap it up. You can't tell me Law Nation, Walt, and me wasn't fighting for the right side of this.
You want answers?
Who was on the right side of this?
You can't handle the truth.
I was going to say, what you just said about Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
A lot of people speculate that this is Mike McCarthy's last year. Do you feel this is last year in Dallas? If they don't win something.
Oh, yeah.
No, it shouldn't be, though.
There you go.
Hold on. This is his first year.
It should be his first year. It shouldn't be if they let him run the offense.
There we go.
Man.
Y'all hear it.
But the team don't win. Guess who goes first? That's the head coach.
Yeah.
He goes first.
It show you life ain't fair, because to be honest, how can somebody have a OC that didn't believe in your philosophy, but now this is your last year, but
Right.
they put Kellen Moore with Mike McCarthy? I think they need to reclaim Mike McCarthy's time.
Yeah.
And start it over.
Start it over.
Start it over. Then starts now.
Like, because they the ones that put Kellen Moore on him.
Right.
And he clearly said he wasn't a fan of option routes, and they kept running it.
Let's do it.
Your head coach not liking it.
No, McCarthy's the man. I got to give it to him. He's the
Yeah.
guy.
That's good to hear, man. And I want all of y'all to know this is coming from somebody who got the play calls from Mike McCarthy. I'm going to look in your face and say it.
I'm sorry I got so angry, y'all. I love the team, and that's why we put in the type of work that we did. And it's just very upsetting. Oh, y'all want to talk about it now. Y'all want to talk about it 2 years after the fact. But I got some more I got to tell y'all. Y'all got to stay to the end, because I see what's going on. I do see what's going on. Undermined 4. Offer Dan Quinn the job publicly.
What are the Cowboys doing? What is Jerry Jones doing talking about Dan Quinn like this? Saying, yeah, the way we kept him, every coach, every one of the 3 coaches that it's happened with, They said they love to be the head coach of the Cowboys. Everyone. So my point is a lot of logic as to why they might not take a job now rather than wait and see how the cards go in the future. How could Mike McCarthy be fine with that statement? Like, let's be Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn, right? You're tight with each other. You're working together. Mike McCarthy hired Dan Quinn. And the day after the news comes out that you're staying with the Cowboys, right? Mm-hmm. That Friday when Jerry called in unscheduled to KMC. I'll be McCarthy, you be Dan Quinn. Hey man, glad you're back. How'd the old man keep you? How'd he pull it off?
Well, he gave me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Oh, okay, so just money.
No,
He money whipped you.
No. Kind of gave me your job. That's kind of what he did.
All right. Now, it probably didn't go like that.
No.
But if you're Mike McCarthy and you see that comment from Jerry, how are you not thinking, what did y'all say about me and my job status? And then Jerry moves on. And Dave Helman was there. He's there. Were you there?
Were you there?
It was apparently
Were you there?
Dave Helman and Jory Epstein, the only 2 reporters around Jerry at the Senior Bowl.
Really, the big thing that I wrote about coming out of the week was Jerry. I mean, it was an interesting sequence. I would love for you to go read the story on DallasCowboys.com because there's a lot to unpack. But basically, Jerry was talking about how he tried to keep Dan Quinn by playing up the idea that people want to coach the Dallas Cowboys, and maybe Dan Quinn would want to be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And if that is not a eyebrow-raising statement, what is, right? And Jory Epstein, our friend over at USA Today, and we were kind of going back and forth with Jerry, like, well, what exactly are you saying here? Like, I mean, is Dan Quinn somebody that you would consider? And he said, yeah, if I needed a coach, I would absolutely consider Dan Quinn. And that turns into, well, what does Mike McCarthy think about this? And it was basically, well, it'll be fine. You don't mind. He knows he's not gonna be the coach of the Cowboys forever. Nobody coaches forever. And like, all of that stuff is true, But it comes across as like I said, it just kind of makes your eyebrows go up. Like, man, is Jerry putting somebody on notice here? What exactly is happening? So it was a very, very eventful day. I would love for you to go read it and let me know what you think.
And Helman said he's like side-eyeing Jory, like, is he saying this? You know, you give that look to someone like, is this happening right now? The way you look at each other during an interview. And then Jerry goes on to say, yeah, he's a guy, if I didn't have a coach, I would have been interviewing him for our coaching spot. Mike knows that someday somebody other than him will be coach of the Cowboys. Yeah, but Jerry, Mike, I think in his mind has 8 more years here.
Yeah.
Like, he just finished his second year. We're not talking about Bill Belichick in his 70s right now. So this is Jerry, to me, like, being really, really inappropriate with Mike McCarthy, being really unfair to Mike McCarthy. And then does McCarthy have to side-eye Dan Quinn to wonder, what were you told?
See, listen, y'all. See, y'all remember when they had that accuser come on the fan? You see why I ain't put Sean and RJ in that? You see why when the bullets start getting shot at the fan, I said, take them out the car. Take them out. See, because this is very honest commentary, y'all. See, it's a lot of people shot up the whole fan over Dak's accuser. I'm like, nah, you gotta use a sniper rifle. You can't use an AK all the time. Nah, this was bold, honest commentary by Sean and RJ.
Old about the head coaching position here. I think that Dan Quinn is now more of a threat to replace Mike McCarthy than Sean Payton is. Because I'm going to guess that Sean Payton stays in TV for a couple of years, and if McCarthy doesn't make at least the NFC Championship game, I mean, unless Jerry is just overhyping Dan Quinn, that Dan Quinn takes this team over instead of Sean Payton. But man, this is really unfair, I think, to Mike.
So around this time, I gave a real warning because I saw what Mike was going through. I was like, and I said this on the show. I said, how does Mike manage his men when your GM is publicly undressing you, making you look expendable? How does your men have respect for you? And it made me give a warning. And you talking to me in the public like I'm a bum, and then you go run me out there and expect my men to respect me. I'm going to tell you what Jerry asking for. Jerry is asking for, at some point, Mike McCarthy is going to have to stand up for himself. Because, see, on a personal level, if you talk to me behind closed doors, so say Lamb now enters the 2022 season as the clear primary receiver in Dallas.
I messed up.
In addition to Cooper being gone
and all of that, I'm going to be a whole lot more humble than when I have to go home and look my kids in their eyes and they looking at me like, Daddy, are you getting disrespected by your boss? Why is he talking to you like that? And then that man pride start to rise up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That man pride. When you and your wife having a conversation about this in the bed at night. And she like, baby, we ain't got to take this, baby. We good. We good. Our kids going to college. See, eventually, you ain't gonna keep disrespecting me like this. And it's gonna blow up. It's gonna be some kind of way. Y'all mark my words. It's gonna be some kind of way Mike McCarthy go show his frustration with Jerry. The way that Jerry keep picking at him.
A week later, And then I say, mark my words. And the reason why I said that, this ain't about, oh, boss, you was a prophet. No, it's just common sense. It's like, if I want to win, I got to get my respect back because Jerry just took it from me publicly. So I got to publicly go take my respect back or I'm going to lose the team. That's why I said at the end of this show, y'all go appreciate Mike McCarthy more when you really understand what he went through to get where he is now. He got undressed publicly and had to go address it publicly.
Part of the criticism coming your way seems to be in a veiled way from the man who signed your checks, to be very honest with you. Jerry Jones, in a story written on Dallas Cowboys.com, was talking about Dan Quinn coming back to your fold and mentioning how Sean Payton and Jason Garrett stuck around for a long time as assistants in Dallas because, quote, every one of those three coaches have said they'd love to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. So my point is that has, in my mind, a lot of logic as to why they might not take a job now rather than one or wait and see how the cards go in the future. The follow-up question was kind of obvious. Like, what about your current head coach, Mike McCarthy? And the quote was, Mike knows that someday somebody other than him will be coach of the Cowboys. What do you think about that? So
you hear him laugh. Mike McCarthy laughed like
position, Coach Mike McCarthy.
Oh, so we have an hour, correct?
The floor is yours. The time's yours, as Andy Reid might say in the media. So, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a number of things. I mean, I think number one, I think it's every landscape in this league is different. I've been very fortunate to work at two of the premier organizations in pro football. And they're all different. So and I think clearly in this in this situation, the way things are done here, there's a bigger picture focus, and I've always frankly just keep it about winning, and I've always kind of taken a blind eye or blind ear to those things. But
oh, my bad, doing too much, y'all forgive me. Let me get it back right.
But that's not the case when you work here. So I mean, I think clearly when you look at those type of comments, I think you have to understand the platform where they're coming from. I mean, I have an excellent relationship with Jerry Jones. We talk on a regular basis about everything and anything, big picture. Tight focus on what we're doing, program wise. And more importantly, his biggest interest is the development of our players, especially our young players. So, but when I look at the comments, I mean, the thing about Dan, Dan Quinn being here was.
Pay attention to this part. This the part that's I'm gonna turn off the music. We don't need no music on this part. Hold on, I'm gonna turn this music all the way off.
Very important to me and our organization. I think it's the reality of it is, Dan and I had visited long before he ever took a head coach interview. Frankly, long before the playoffs even started. Mm-hmm. About how happy he is here. And I envy him in some ways. Where as a head coach, you get pulled away from the things that really would help you advance in this league. So I mean, the joy that he was having coordinating, he's been a tremendous.
What does that mean when somebody say I envy you being able to do the things that got you promoted in a league? What are you saying by that? He clearly was saying that he envies that Dan Quinn gets to be a D coordinator where he has to manage Kellen Moore. Listen.
About how happy he and our organization. I think it's the reality of it is, Dan and I had visited long before he ever took a head coach interview. Frankly, long before the playoffs even started. Mm-hmm. about how happy he is here. And I envy him in some ways where, as a head coach, you get pulled away from the things that really would help you advance in this league. So, the joy that he was having coordinating, he's been a tremendous asset for me, personally and professionally. Just having another individual with the experience of a head coach. So, we talked about him staying here, long before he even took the interview. Now, obviously, when he took the interview, and then this narrative broke out, I think in reflection to the relationship that Dan and I do have, he just said, "Hey, man, if I'm not comfortable with this narrative, if you really feel like I need to take one of these jobs, just be honest with him." We kind of laughed about it, and I just said, Dan, 10 to 12 years ago, I'd tell you, please get the hell out of here. I don't want to deal with this. But the reality of it is, I'm about winning. He's about winning, and the best thing for the Cowboys is for Dan Quinn to be here. And obviously it was his decision, his alone. But I clearly wanted him to know from the start of all that I wanted him here because it's in the best interest of us winning. I've been at this a long time, Rich. I understand, how hard it is to win a Super Bowl, and so the best thing for us, one of the best, for our opportunity to be at the forefront of how we want to do it here, it's having Dan Quinn. So, as far as what happens next and all that, I think that's really just part of the landscape. Jerry's the owner, he's the GM, and he's always taking a 360-degree view of everything, and I think it's like anything in life. We have a lot of one-on-one conversations. We've discussed all these things. I never once felt that I was not going to be the head coach moving forward, and frankly, I've been at this long enough. That's all I'm focused on, and I think the players, the coaches, football operations is my main hold. I'm the leader of this football team, and I'm about winning, and that's all I've ever focused on, and that's all I ever will focus on. And are these narratives unusual? Absolutely. That's all I've ever focused on, and that's all I ever will focus on. And are these narratives unusual? Absolutely. Ever will focus on. And are these narratives unusual? Absolutely. Ever will focus on. And are these narratives unusual? Absolutely. I've never dealt with anything like this. Do I wish I didn't have to come on here and answer questions about it? Yeah, no doubt about it. I wish we were talking about something else, but it is part of our landscape, and I just think keeping things real and keeping things focused, because at the end of the day, it's about the people that you're in charge of. It's about the people you coach, and most importantly, it's about our locker room, and our locker room's about winning.
So, Mike McCarthy was the reason why we actually kept Dan Quinn that year. It shows you how committed he is to winning. Because if you listen close, Sean raised a good question, a self-preservation question. Listening to the self-preservation question. Listen.
Yeah.
Like, he just finished his second year. We're not talking about Bill Belichick in his 70s right now. So this is Jerry, to me, like being really, really inappropriate with Mike McCarthy, being really unfair to Mike McCarthy. And then does McCarthy have to side-eye Dan Quinn to wonder, what were you told? Mike McCarthy, being really unfair to Mike McCarthy. And then does McCarthy have to side-eye Dan Quinn to wonder, what were you told? Fair to Mike McCarthy. And then does McCarthy have to side-eye Dan Quinn to wonder, what were you told about the head coaching position here? I think
That's very, very real. Isn't that very, very real? Isn't that something that will go through your head? And Mike McCarthy said, you know what? I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to put that aside. The fact that Jerry just publicly told the world that you are here to replace me. Let's put that aside. Let's focus on what we're here to do. So, again, undermined 4 offered Dan Quinn the job publicly. The rest of these go probably shock you a little bit because a lot of people not talking about this type of stuff at all. A lot of this stuff is going to be, I guarantee you, most people have no idea that this type of stuff is even going on. So y'all check this one out. Number 5. Trading prisoners for prisoners. Trading prisoners for prisoners. Where did I get trading prisoners for prisoners? Well, I got that from the guy that's going to be here tonight. Y'all listen to this. It's very interesting. Listen.
And I trust me, I hope Mike pulls it together. I really do. I don't hate Mike McCarthy. There's things, I've been at 2 organizations where he's been. So I know a lot about the man. Okay? I know a lot about the man. Yeah. But he's won 25 games in 2 years. Right. But man, he made a big Jerry said, listen, I'm not interested in paying Joe Philbin $2 million a year. Gone. Oh, by the way, hey, Mike, you need to get rid of that Rob Davis, the guy who's the assistant head coach. Gone. Wow. Oh, wait, by the way, Jerry, I think I'm going to get rid of Leon Lett, who was one of your favorites. Gone. Oh, you see what's going on with that staff a little bit? We're prisoners for prisoners.
Wasn't he just pissed off?
I shouldn't have did this show. This show pissing me off. I'm getting pissed. Because when you do your research, you kind of can honestly see opportunities were squandered. These were good teams. These were good coaches. Yeah, shout out to Brian Broaddus. He gonna be here today. We gonna likely talk about that. Update on that. Like y'all know, we go ask the right questions over here, and he go give answers. He always come to give gifts. That's why I say Brian Broaddus handing out the Dallas Cowboys secrets. You ain't hear that nowhere else. You ain't hear that nowhere else. Prisoners for prisoners. So, and what was that prisoner swap likely over? Who was their golden boy? Who was they mad to lose? You getting rid of my Kellen Moore? Well, let's get rid of your Rob Davis. Rob Davis was one of the day ones. Rob Davis was the next in line to be head coach if something ever happened to him. You know that didn't come from Mike McCarthy. Yeah. Joe Philbin was one of the day ones that he won a Super Bowl with. Prisoners for prisoners. So when Brian Broaddus came on the show last year, he said one of my biggest concerns is the coaching turnover. Because it was not done in a way that was the cleanest. Prisoners for prisoners.
And I trust me, I hope Mike pulls it together. I really do. I don't hate Mike McCarthy. There's things, I've been at 2 organizations where he's been. So I know a lot about the man. Okay? I know a lot about the man. Yeah. But he's won 25 games in 2 years. Right. But man, he made a big Jerry said, listen, I'm not interested in paying Joe Philbin no $2 million a year. Gone. Oh, by the way, hey, Mike, you need to get rid of that Rob Davis, the guy who's the assistant head coach. Gone.
Wow.
Oh, wait, by the way, Jerry, I think I'm going to get rid of Leon Lett, who was one of your favorites. Gone. You see what's going on with that staff a little bit? If they're trading prisoners for prisoners. If they're trading prisoners for prisoners. If they're trading prisoners for prisoners.
Wasn't he just pissed off?
You see my face? I was like, what? What? The 6th way that Mike McCarthy was undermined. And I guarantee you most people don't see these. The things I'm talking about, you had to really be in a lab. You had to be digging. You couldn't be surface. You had to be really digging for the gold to recognize the patterns that was going on. The way that they undermine Mike McCarthy, the 6th way, this team was slow to cross train, even though Mike was pro cross training from the beginning. See, I did a lot of shows on this, and I remember I used to get a whole lot of fights from y'all. I was telling everybody that we need to get out of that old theory that you gotta always keep an offensive lineman in one place and let them develop. I was like, man, I looked around the league. Some of your better teams are cross training. They are having guys intentionally practice and prepare for multiple positions in case of an injury. And I used to get fought on that a lot. But Mike McCarthy was getting fought on it too. Because Mike McCarthy brought up cross training when he was on Sean and RJ. Listen.
You know, one of the overblown storylines was, he's been working at guard. And I kind of wrote down, on the left side, how much time he had worked at tackle, college, OTAs, mini camps, and then training camp working at guard, but we got a lot more sample size and experience at tackle. Do you think that's something we got to, stay cognizant of? I mean, it's kind of more natural for him to go back to tackle than it would be when he was switching to guard. Does that add up?
Well, I mean, you got to break it down on different levels. I mean, when you're talking about the individual, in his progress, I think it's clearly, if you want him to play one position and get ready to play just there, I mean, that's one conversation. But the cross training, to me, is so beneficial for all your linemen, and in his particular talent, and his skill set. I mean, playing left tackle from an assignment standpoint is easier than playing guard. So the opportunity to learn guard, just in the classroom component, the mental part of it is so beneficial, to playing tackle because, obviously they're tied together. But the physical part, of tackle and guard are different. So, we feel very confident in just the number of reps he's had because, the most important part of Tyler coming here was, as far as his plan, was to keep him on the left side. And he's a left side player, and I think he'll be prepared, and will grow, and but I think he's going to be a fine player for us.
So you could clearly see Mike McCarthy was very pro cross training. But let me ask you a question: was Tyler Smith cross trained when he was in his first training camp?
Conversation, but the cross training to me is so beneficial.
Hold on,
cross training. In his particular talent, his
skill set, overblown storylines.
One conversation, but the cross training
content myself.
to me is so beneficial
my guy, Boss Cowboy.
for all your linemen. And in his particular talent, and get ready to play just there. I mean, that's one conversation, but the cross training to me is so beneficial for all your linemen. In his particular talent, and his skill set. I mean, playing left tackle from an assignment standpoint is easier than playing guard. So the opportunity to learn guard, just in the classroom component, the mental part of it is so beneficial, to playing tackle.
All right, let's talk, bro. Because
Words say one thing, actions say another.
I'm done. This is why I rock with my boy Tuck right here.
See, Tuck peeped it. See, this is why you got to really pay attention. If you're not paying attention, stuff that they doing will go over your head. Tuck said, words saying one thing, actions another.
To playing tackle.
All right, let's talk, bro.
Words say one thing, actions say another.
I'm done. This is why I rock with my boy Tuck right here. Listen, and you picked it up so quick. That's why I love Tuck.
Hey.
Tuck, we got to do more shows, bro.
Hey, Now,
we got to do more shows.
Hey.
Now, what Tuck just said was big, all right? And this is the pattern that I keep seeing, bro. Mike McCarthy has one desire. They actually do something different. Mm-hmm. He clearly said that cross-training helped all the linemen. Right. But did all the linemen get the cross-training?
Not the most important linemen did not get the cross-training.
It did not happen. So what does that mean,
Tyler
dude?
Biadasz didn't get no cross-training?
No.
Did we see Terrence Steele play different positions?
No.
Okay. Zach Martin?
No.
Okay.
But it helps them all.
Okay.
It helps. And your head coach said it helps them all. So if your head coach says it helps them all and they not doing it, is he really in control?
He is not in control. Not in control.
Yep. Undermined 6. Your head coach over talking about cross-training, and they very slow to be cross-trained. They cross-train them now. You know what made them learn their lesson? Tyler Smith. See, when they gave him nothing but guard reps in training camp, and then all of a sudden you needed him to play left tackle, they learned then. Because guess what they doing now? Guess what? BB, his dad was on the final word. And what did he say on the final word? Oh, my son is playing center and guard. But see, who was telling y'all to do that a long time ago? Mike McCarthy. Who was obviously slow to listen? Front office. So what's been happening little by little is Mike McCarthy been showing that he's right the hard way. He been letting them do it their way. Then they get burned. Then they try his way. Then it works. Number 7. Undermine number 7. This is the last one. Signing Trey Lance without at least a discussion with Mike McCarthy. Undermined.
Jerry, what did you guys give Dak a heads up that this was coming? Did anybody in your organization give Dak a heads up that this was coming down?
No. We didn't tell anybody until we did it. Period. We didn't tell anybody until we did it. Period. There was nobody that knew it. We told Mike after we'd done 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 it. But my point is, we just want to get it done. We just want to get it done. We just want to get it done.
So when you see Mike McCarthy is fed up, He ain't got no reason to be fed up. Because a lot of people not putting it together how dysfunctional that is. You've been spending all offseason building the confidence of Dak. Dak is getting ready to go into a brand new offense. He just had a year of 17 interceptions. And without consulting at all your head coach, you go out on the press conference and say, no, I ain't talking to Mike. No. I just wanted to get it done. So when you look at it, just from a common sense, you say Mike, and I just showed you all 7. I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna go through it real quick. Number 1, the first way they undermine is hiring him and attaching Kellen Moore to him. Number 2, going with the aggressive option routes that Mike didn't want and publicly said he didn't want. Number 3, Mike McCarthy wanted to attack matchups versus a system because they was asking, so what do you do? And he basically clearly showed them, I want to use CD Lamb in a Jerry Rice role. And they basically said, shut up. We're going with Kellen Moore's system until it crashed again in the playoffs. Number 4, they offered Dan Quinn the job publicly. That's almost the worst one. Trading prisoners for prisoners by getting rid of his top trusted guys. Number 6, they was very slow to implement cross training. Very slow. Only until it blew up in their face. And number 7, you went and got Trey Lance, signed Trey Lance without even talking to your head coach or the scouts. So who gotta now go deal with the morale? Who gotta go clean up this morale? Mike. And it's not just the morale of Dak. Who else morale you gotta deal with? Cooper Rush. If you could see the reason why I was able to see, I'm gonna tell you why I'm able to predict so well. I do one thing that a lot of people don't do. I put myself in other people's shoes. I say to myself, how would I feel? And because I ask myself that question, I'm able to predict likely how you feeling and what you likely want to do. How would you feel if you Cooper Rush and you don't won 5 games and they go out there and they get this guy as a 4th round, trade him, and then say, yeah, we go give him a bunch of reps, and they say we're going to extend him without even seeing him? How does that make you feel? If you Cooper Rush and you Dak, how do you feel? Do you feel appreciated? So let me get down to what I really feel like is going on. Okay. This next thing I'm finna tell you is sad, but I'm being honest. I want y'all to first listen. I'm gonna show you where I predicted it once. I'm gonna make this prediction twice. Listen. Yeah, welcome to the Boss Cowboy Measured Kool-Aid Report, and this one is very important. Don't sleep on this one. This is one you got to stay with because I'm going to build a case on this because from what I'm seeing, Dan Quinn is trying to get up out of Dallas. Just being honest, Dan Quinn is trying to get up out of Dallas. I warned about this when I did a video on Anthony Barr, and a lot of this stuff, and I'm going to have that video in the description, and I'm going to come back to that. Yeah, welcome to the Boss Cowboy Measured. I warned on A3, Dan Quinn trying to get up out of here. Mike McCarthy, in my opinion, is preparing to get up out of Dallas. See, was it a coincidence that he went on the Rich Eisen show? Was it a coincidence that all of a sudden when Jerry was going and putting his lips on him, talking about Dan Quinn, that he made sure that he got his version of what's going on? You got to look at it. What do you do if your boss start making it seem like you're getting ready to get fired? What do you do if you feel like you're in an unsafe work environment? What would you do? In a land of self-preservation, with a mortgage, with kids you got to support through college, what would you do? What kind of signals would you send out there? What would you do? Sadly, he is doing exactly what Dan Quinn was doing. And guess who else is doing it? Right in y'all face, right in all of our face. Zimmer. Zimmer is doing it right in our face. He's letting out the clues. I don't have enough. So if this doesn't work, it wasn't me. What was Mike McCarthy doing when he said I didn't like them option routes? What was he doing? He was letting people know this is not me.
A lot of great questions today, but this is my favorite. So we get to talk a little ball here. But no, I've never been a big option route thrower. Your concept.
He was letting people know this ain't me. So I told you, if you want answers, you came to the right place. Because it's so many times in this very presentation, you saw me make very accurate predictions. You saw me say in this very presentation, I told y'all, I said Mike McCarthy is going to have to respond. Within a week, he was on Rich Eisen. I said on this very show that Dan Quinn was trying to get up out of here. And we know what happened. Dan Quinn not only left, he took a lot of toys with him. When your defensive coordinator and your offensive coordinator are sending signals that we don't have enough, they are preparing for their next job. The only thing that's gonna save, I'm just being honest. If y'all want me to lie and give you some sugar, this ain't the channel. This is a channel for real men, real women, and real fans. If you want somebody that's gonna pander to you, tell you what you want to hear, it's plenty of channels that's gonna do that. It's plenty of channels that's the only thing they go focus on. They ain't go focus on the politics. They go stay far from it. Cause they know some of y'all can't handle it. Your stomach get a little bit queasy when that truth start hitting you in the face.
You can't handle the truth.
Boss, this don't feel positive. And I understand that for some of y'all. For some of y'all follow the Cowboys because you want to feel positive. I want to win. I'm like Mike McCarthy. So I believe the best way to win is to address the problems. Talk about the problems head up. Attack it. Let's put it behind us so that we can win. So just ask yourself, why did Joe Witt say my dream job would be to be the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys? Guess what came up? An opportunity for the interview. But because of the environment, what did he do? I'm out of here. The dream job literally came up for Joe Witt. He wrote in his journal as a little boy, my dream job would be to be the defensive coordinator. And then he got to working up in here. He started seeing how people move. He started seeing the politics and our guys, and you'll plant Kellen Moore on me, but then blame me for it not working. Even after in 1 year of me doing it my way, your quarterback was the best quarterback in the league. The offense under me was the best offense in the league. But I gotta prove it. And then, but you wonder why all these coaches are you got Zimmer coming in, sitting down with reporters saying, I don't got enough. So, I wanted y'all to really know what Mike McCarthy been through to get them 12 wins. I wanted y'all to really know, because this is the saddest part. You know the saddest part? Y'all want to know the truth? The truth is, Mike McCarthy has actually earned their respect. He just earned it through fire. They had to be wrong. He had to be right. They had to see that they was wrong. So now he's supposed to be fed up? Nah. I guarantee you Mike McCarthy right now is on way better terms than he's ever been. But he had to go through trial by fire.
Dracarys.
He had to allow Kellen Moore to burn himself up. He had to allow them to feel the scare of not cross-training. He had to have them feel what it could be like if I go to one of my friends and expose y'all. If I go to, I see you got the power of the media, but see, I'm a vet. I also know how to work the media too. So if you want to pull your guns out on me and threaten me with Dan Quinn, I know how to pull the guns out on you. We talking about a very savvy head coach. We talking about a guy who's not even just a smart head coach and a good offensive coordinator, but that's actually made to swim in the toxic waters of Dallas. So when I see he fed up, I don't believe it. I think it's wee-woo.
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee-woo, wee-woo.
I think Mike McCarthy has already been through the hard days. But I also think he's smart enough, keeping it real, to lay up his next job.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters.
Look, moving too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets done taught me, moving too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets done taught me, I'm just tryna get my nigga paid. We came from Section 8, and I knew I was at since the 2nd grade. Man, I swear my time is coming, cause I'm never late. Came from broken homes and broken dreams to getting paid. Dollar bill, listen close, this is not a drill. Niggas hungry trying to get a meal. I've been in light, who gon' pay a bill? I've been in action, been in traction, surplus with niggas lacking, shining light but still be blacking, red lights will stop the action, green to go, even when it's slow. Higher heights to balance out the lows. Can't ride the wave cause you ain't got a boat.